a throw me con. Me no sell no foul.
Yes, it's still the bumper breakfast, and things you must know before you're 25. Dr. Precious, there are certain things that every 25-year-old must know. You know, when we were brainstorming about this yesterday, we kept having that argument of, okay, maybe we should do 18, maybe we should do 25. But I think it just covers everyone who is looking at ending their teens, going towards their 20s, and then eating the middle of the 20s. What are the major things that you think they must know?
You know, speaking from the words of Dr. Miles Morio, he hosted a conference of world-renowned leaders, presidents of nations, leaders of conglomerates, and there he spoke about the things he hoped to achieve before the age of 26. And he actually achieved 2/3 of them. And I'm going to talk about some of those things. Number one, he spoke about having a degree before that age. It's very important to give you a leverage. They say a man's life is controlled by a piece of paper, and the value from that piece of paper is dependent on what you can do for yourself. So if that paper gives you an opportunity, you need to take it to the next level, to become much more better than you are. And that's why going the extra mile is important. It's not enough to be a graduate, but what is that graduate able to do? You see some...
about the value that the piece of paper brings to you.
Exactly.
And you are too.
So you see some people have actually gone to school, but the school has not gone through them. So you find them talking as a graduate, and you're wondering, which school did this one graduate from?
So it's just a paper.
It's just a paper with no value. And that's so important. Number two, the skills of life, you need to have absorbed them before the age of 25. You must understand that the youthful stage is the useful stage. Can I come again? The youthful stage is the useful stage. If you're not useful at your youth, I'm telling you, you're working towards uselessness. And you need to harness that capacity to make do with gleaning some more knowledge, how to jumpstart a battery, how to plow the lawn, how to perform a laundry, how to iron perfectly. These are things that you will actually, they're basic
actually
things.
life lessons, you know,
Yes.
that you just ignore most times. You think they're not important.
My mom used to say something. She was a lecturer at Uniben. She used to say something. She says, if a fish is fresh, you can bend it anyhow you want. 360.
Dry.
Yeah, but when it's dry, you can't bend it. By the time you start going past 25 without harnessing these basic skills, I'm telling you, it will be so difficult to catch up. So that's why it's really important.
So you're saying right now that
much.
there are some lessons that are difficult to learn after the age of 25.
Yes, that will look burdensome after that age. And that's why if you follow my YouTube channel very well, you see I've done talks on this. I've spoken about things you should do before the age of 20, things you should know before the age of 25, 30. I actually stopped at 40 because a fool at 40, they say, is a fool forever. So I stopped at 40. That's a benchmark. And after 40, you are, as a matter of fact, I don't want to say after 40 you are responsible for your life. The moment you become an adolescent from the age of 18,
you're responsible
for your life and
for charting the course
and like
of your life.
What I usually tell parents is that when you give birth to a child, recognize there are 3 stages in life. The first stage is about you. Okay, the child has no say. That child is infinitesimal. That child is small. The child cannot say nothing. It's what you tell the child will do. The second stage is you and the child. You say, do this. The child will say, Mommy, why? The child is...
Unfortunately, that one has come very fast now.
Yeah, we're in the jet age.
Because usually it used to be in your early teens when you ask questions like that.
Very true.
Now, 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds ask you, Mommy, why?
Very true. And then a time comes where it's about them. So you are no longer in the labor market.
As a matter of
they
fact,
are now out there.
They are no longer relevant.
So they are now
To
there.
the
They do
decision.
whatever they want to do. They don't call you before going to church. They just go. They don't call you before going to the club. They just go. Now, this is my point. The care they will give you is dependent on the value you impacted on them while they were under you. So if you mismanage their destiny while they were under your claws, I'm telling you, they are going to turn out to become a burden to you. That's why I tell parents, if you pamper your children, they will tamper with your future tomorrow. You see that? So basically, we need to know these things as we approach 25. I can't imagine a guy of 25 who is driving a car and he doesn't know how to change tires. I drive an SUV, and as big as it is, I can still change the tire.
Why won't you change your tire?
Do you want to put me on the spot right now?
No, but I'm really asking the question. I mean, why wouldn't you change your tire?
I was actually planning to surprise you, but with what you've said, it's cancelled.
But even me,
There's
I
a
changed my
curfew
tire.
in our relationship right now.
Yeah, I agree. Because sincerely, I had to change my tire. So.
Can we go back to our topic, please?
No, but really, I talk about these things because
Okay.
another thing that is peculiar when you're talking about something like this is
Okay.
people now begin to separate sexes. They tell you, oh, what if you're a girl? It's different. Or what if you're a boy? It's totally different. Is it?
You see, practically, yes. You know
I
why?
mean, are these lessons things you must
No,
know?
these lessons are applicable to everyone.
Are they different? Do they differ if you're
From
a girl
guy to lady.
to lady?
Now, let me pay your indulgence on this, Tomisi. You see, sometimes they do, but these lessons I'm talking about right now cuts across board. Okay? But when I say sometimes they do, it's because application may differ. You see, when a lady starts maturing, there are signs, there are things she needs to be acquainted with. That's why I really don't find it funny where parents, in a situation whereby parents will have daughters and they are unable to give sex education to the daughters. There is a story trending right now on social media of a mother in Ibadan that flogged the daughter mercilessly because she found the daughter standing with a guy and talking, and she beat the hell out of the lady or out of the girl. We have passed that stage. If you find your daughter with a boy outside,
If I
take
sound very
her
funny.
in, explain to her, let her understand. Well,
But that's what they told us. You beat them mercilessly. They
you
will
see,
remember.
now they told us, you see, you start with a guy, you go out with a guy, you are pregnant. But that's not it. That's not it. You're actually breeding an evil mentality on that girl child. And that's why you find some female children, they have a dependent mentality. I'm gonna break this table right now. I'm about to break a table. You hear people saying dating Nigerian girls is like dating an orphan. They call the guy in the morning, I want to do my hair. They call him in the afternoon, I need recharge card. They have this dependent mentality. It actually emanated from the foundation. So you keep putting things in them so they feel if it touches me,
Where they
you must do
help them
this.
to take every decision, and where their parents are, where they're dependent on their parents for practically every decision.
And it affects the mind.
You're for sure.
So we really need to change the narrative, and that's what I'm saying to everyone out there. If you have your kids approaching, like my father was one very tough father. He will tell you, at this age, if you're not making impact, I'll chase you out of my house. My dad will literally call us and say, this house I have built is not for you, it's for me and my wife. Nothing here belongs to you. My dad made it a national anthem. So when I came into the country and I went to build my house, I became comfortable and happy, and I called it Precious Villa. Yeah, this is mine. My dad's own is not mine. I have no business there.
Because
I can only go visit. Because he had told us
from the very beginning that you have no business.
and he's listening to me right now. He had told us from the foundation, this house belongs to me,
But you
him
see,
and his wife.
Now, but you see, that's the mentality of a man who is schooled in the school of life and found it very necessary to give lessons. Remember the time when we're talking on the hard conversations about inheritance?
Yeah, I remember.
And it comes to the point where you find the boys in the house, especially from where we come from, who come come up with things like they don't need to do so much because their parents have so much, so they know that they're going to inherit the business, they're going to inherit the property. And then I hear somebody say it was on TV that day, if I can remember, the man said, the house I'm building is for my son. The house I built is for my son, not for my daughter. If I have more money, I could build my daughter a house, but it's not for my daughter, it's for my son. And I'm talking about a man whose daughter and son is still under the age of 10.
No.
So you see the mentality I'm talking about. You don't teach independence to a child by giving them a sense of entitlement from when they're little.
True.
So you find out that you train boys, because I find out that quite a number of boys are so, it's more common. What you actually think is common among the girls who are dependent is actually more common among the boys today.
True.
You find a lot of boys who are largely dependent either on friends, family, parents. They find it they call it tying them to the apron string of their mothers.
Very true. And then they blame everybody for their stupidity.
Everybody's at fault.
And I always like to say that you are not yet a failure until you find someone to blame. So when you keep blaming people for your shortcomings and your predicaments, then I'm telling you, you have made yourself a failure. It's important you recognize that you are responsible for the outcome of your life. You are totally responsible.
Or your misfortune, whatever it is.
Wherever you find yourself in life, you're
responsibility.
There is a level you get to where you can say, my father did not send me to school. But there's another level where you get to when life hits you, you will understand that you can actually grind and get to that school if you need to. Or you go learn a trade. It takes discipline to understand where you want to be in life and get there. I'm reminded of the story of the security guard in a bank. I don't know if you remember that story.
Yeah, I do.
He was a security guard in a bank with a secondary school certificate, and he started sponsoring himself, doing a part-time course, and he moved from being the security man to becoming a cashier staff of the bank. And he's a celebrated banker today in Lagos. Why? He took his destiny in his hands and went for it. We need to destroy that mentality of what my parents have to offer. One time President of America would say, stop thinking about what America would do for you, but start thinking of what you would do for America. And that's the mentality we need to inculcate in this generation. Before you get to the age of 25, you need to understand these basic things. You need to have this mentality of, I am solely responsible for my life.
No, you know what I even say to people, when I mentor people now, I tell them, you're liking yourself to a country.
Sure.
Because you see, when the Bible, pardon me for those who are not Christians, was saying that a little one shall become
1,000,
1,000.
and a strong one shall become
A small one
strong
shall
nation.
become a strong nation. One person is capable of creating a nation.
True.
So if you see yourself from that perspective, I'm sure that Dangote wasn't seeing himself as one single person who is responsible solely for himself, and he didn't have the I and myself mentality.
True.
He must have had the continent mindset.
True. And Tommy saying, I love where you're coming from, and that's why when we have conversations like this, I try to put a disclaimer at the end, telling people, if you're here to just get married and have a corner piece in a one-room, self-contained, and just manage life and go by, we're not talking to you. If you're here to just look for a girl, impregnate her, put her at the back of your house, and manage in your father's room, we're not here for you. But if you're here to leave a legacy, to change the course of time and your generation, then we're talking to you.
You are the kind of audience that we're talking to.
Exactly.
Because if you look at the mentality, a lot of us desire to speak to or to become great people.
True.
You know, we admire them. We want to be like them. Everybody wants to be a Tedola. Everyone wants to be Dangote. Everyone wants to be an Lumelu. Everyone wants to be an Lakija. Everyone wants to be an Esther Ajayi. Everybody's just thinking big. You're thinking about the money.
Very true.
You all think about Obama. So last week I sat down to read the story of Obama's mother. And I saw that at a young age, Obama left his mother in another country, went back to the United States to go forge a future for himself. The parents were there. He went back to live with his grandparents. And the young boy kept working. I saw that it was coming from a family where people are goal-getters. Everybody is a goal-getter. So you're not permitted to dilly-dally. You're not permitted to take life with levity. Because you are coming from a family where everybody takes life seriously. By adventure, you are the odd one out who takes everything with levity. That means you have decided from the very beginning to be a burden to your siblings and your parents who don't take things with levity, who don't take life, with kids' gloves.
Yeah.
So you must go through life, with that mentality of, it's about me. If I'm not able to do it for me, nobody is going to do it for me.
Yeah, and Tomisin, let me be very realistic here. I really need people to understand this. You see, we are not trying to tell you that you need to be a Dangote at the age of 25. We are not Jack Ma. I could take you through Jack Ma's story. It was actually worth nothing at 25. But right now, he's a multi-billionaire.
Very true.
You see, we're not saying that you need to be an overnight success at the age of 25.
Which is what they now go for.
That's social media kind of...
fake life.
Yeah.
Propagated on social media.
The propaganda
you can just become rich overnight.
Things. Exactly. And that's totally wrong. This is what I tell people. Follow the process so you can enjoy the proceeds.
You must understand that there is a process.
There's a process. If you forget, if you ignore the process, if you miss the process, you can't get the produce. You can't get the proceeds. Like Zig Ziglar will say, there is no corner in history. You need to follow the process.
Very true.
And it's the process that helps you to get to where you need to get to in destiny. And life is a journey. Let
me paint a very small scenario. We have 1 minute to end the segment, but let me paint a very small scenario. Imagine that your father gave you a piece of land.
Okay.
And you have the piece of land. You've always had that piece of land. Okay. Now, land appreciates. Did you say so?
Sure.
Now, you've done nothing with the land. Over time, you just keep telling yourself, oh, I have a piece of land. Now, you have a brother who did not get a piece of land. Maybe a friend, a cousin, a neighbor, rented a piece of land, leased a piece of land for whatever means, or borrowed a piece of land. Now decided to start tilling the ground, put plants in the ground, sowed a seed into the ground, watched it grow, okay? Sold the produce, planted much more, wobbled and failed, all of his crops failed. You were still looking and waiting every day and doing maybe 10,000 naira, say, I have a piece of land. It's going to appreciate one day. It will become 3 million naira. Or when it becomes 3 million, I'll sell it. And then it never becomes 3 million. And this young man begins to, from a borrowed piece of land, makes 3 million naira in 1 year. By the time that young man becomes a millionaire and buys other people's land, your land is going to be the only one left.
Very true.
Because you have refused to till the ground from the very beginning. You refuse to put anything into the soil. So your land is going to be fallow. It's just going to be there. And land appreciates true in value when you want to sell it. But do you know that the land can actually give you lots more than what the money that you're going to sell it?
Very true.
You could have made money over time
from that land.
And make enough to actually cater for that amount you would have gotten when you sell it.
You're very correct, Tomisi.
But no, we don't do that. See, you know what we wait for? We wait for the big money. So every young person is thinking, so I have some people in my area that were thinking of selling their father's house. For everything they've ever done, they're just thinking of selling their father's house. They're waiting
so that they can share the big money.
So
and that's the African mentality, mutual impoverishment.
You get it? So they have 2 houses that their father left for them. So they sold one for about 70 million.
Whoa.
So when they sold 70 million, all of them shared it. And then all of them are living in the one that is left. I mean, all of the children, all of them, wife, children, living in the one that is left. You know what they now did? They are now giving each other quick notice that they want to sell this one that is left. Now imagine what would have happened when they got the first 70 million. Imagine they had invested into a business, started a family business or something. Since they live together,
they would have actually bought more because they are not paying rent.
They won't be selling.
True.
The other property.
Wisdom is actually lacking there. And Tomisi, before you shut down this conversation, I won't forgive myself if I don't say this. You see, before the age of 25, you need to develop relationships. You need to develop your circle. Because you are a product of the people that you hang around. If you work with 5 foolish people, you become number 6. If you work with 5 wise people, you become number 6. So it's really important you form great people around you. When I tell you this person is my friend, there is capacity, there is tenacity, there is wisdom, there is value. But if I tell you I'm not friends with this person, it's because of what I have seen in myself that I can't see in this person. You need to find those things and find those people at that time. He's my friend. He's my friend. That's the time you build it. Okay?
And then you build good friends. But like we close, don't go looking for rich people's kids and make them friends because of what you want to collect from them. I just wanted to end with that. All right, it's hard conversations, but I need to take this quick commercial break. When I return from this commercial break, we're looking at hard conversations, and today's on.
How much is too much to spend on the wedding?
The holidays. Some drama. A smoky start. Exciting moment. Of course, everyone is invited. Oh, festive season. What a time for the family. Turn up the way you want. Oops. All fun. And don't worry, the little surprises will make your day.
It's a special season for everyone, so whatever you're festive, it's your moment with DSTV. And this holiday season is about to be lit.
Everything we do in life has to do with what we intend to become. There are challenges and there are challenges. Join me every Thursday 9 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. on My Success Story, where we share the life experience of distinguished and notable personalities who went through thick and thin before achieving their success. For participation, sponsorship and advert placement, please contact the number shown on the screen. My Success Story, where entrepreneurs are celebrated. The weekend is so special, especially Saturdays.
While some are preparing to go for Owambes,
Gelemida, Filatieda.
some just want to sit back and relax.
Pass me the remote, Jory.
That's why we have the Saturday Morning Show. Saturday Morning Show.
A program that talks about health,
Lifestyle,
good music,
education.
and topical issues.
It also features top celebrities in the country.
Tune in every Saturday,
7 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Saturday Morning Show, starting your weekend on a lighter mood.
Yes, we're back here, and yes, you are. It's still the bumper breakfast, and of course, the last lap. Hard conversations every Friday. This time, we're breaking the tables. I've seen people who borrow for weddings. I've seen people who spend their entire life savings. I've seen people who just spend so much money I cannot count. I cannot, comprehend right now. I can comprehend it. How do you spend millions on a wedding? Really? Like, seriously? See, if you're a billionaire, yes, you can spend millions on a wedding. Because the millions to you will be like thousands or hundreds. If you're a thousandaire and you're spending thousands on a wedding, something is wrong with you. If you're a millionaire in 50s of millions and you're spending millions on a wedding, something is fundamentally missing somewhere. So for me, how much is really too much to spend on a wedding? Dr. Precious?
That's a very interesting topic.
How much is too much to spend on a wedding?
When I sent this to my PA, both of them, they replied with laughter because it's a really controversial topic and it brings about conversations and reactions all in one. And this is how I want to answer that question. Too much of all you have is too much to spend on a wedding. Can I say that again? Too much of all you have is too much to spend on a wedding. What is a wedding? A wedding is a one-day event.
Or a 2-day event. Or for some people, a carnival.
It's a one-day thing. But you see, a marriage is a lifetime thing. You need to invest more and put more into the marriage than just into the wedding day. Because you see, there are some action points I'm going to be giving you in the course of this conversation that would break tables. And I can assure you, I'm ready to mend those tables when I'm done. But this is really important. Why am I saying all this? I'm reminded of the young man who did a wedding recently, last year, for 50 million. 50 million. He had a 50 million wedding, a Nigerian. It's all over the news. He's a popular person, but the marriage has crashed.
Wasted money, resources.
So,
do you know how many people? Do you know that if you bless 20 people with $1 million each, 20 SMEs with $1 million each, do you know what they can do, the potential you will get? Do you know the prayers that will come to you for blessing each family, each person with 1 million naira to invest in their business?
true.
Very shocking. You give somebody 100,000, a woman 100,000, and she sells groundnuts, Dr. Precious, raw and roasted. She sent 4 children to school with 100,000 capital for the business.
Wow.
Yes, I've had mentees who do pap with as little as 5,000 naira. The popular Bubes Pap, the woman who owns Bubes Pap, started her business with 300 naira pap.
Do you know
Today she exports to the rest of the
Do you
world.
know what I can deduce from what you're saying as it applies to our topic?
Yes.
How elaborate your wedding is has nothing to do with the lifespan of your marriage.
You just
How
waste the money.
flashy, how flamboyant your wedding is has nothing to do with the duration
And
of
then
that marriage.
Have you seen the ones who buy wedding dress for 1 million naira?
I've
2
seen.
million, 5 million.
Do you remember the story we talked about on Secret Diary on Instagram? The lady, the guy who was returning from a foreign nation back to Nigeria, he had just 5 million. And he told the lady, I have 5 million and we need to settle down, get married. And the lady said, okay, just send 4 million
To my
into
account.
my account for the
wedding.
food. For the food at the wedding. Then send 1 million to my sister for her shoebi. And the guy was like, I have 5 million. I'm coming back to Nigeria. We need a place to stay. We need to get married. We need to start life from that 5 million. And you say I should give 4 million to you for wedding food and give your sister 1 million? So this guy came up with a story and said he just found out he's AS. And he knows the girl is AS. So they can't be compatible. So he
And the
cried
relationship.
profusely. He cried profusely in front of her and laughed profusely behind her. And that
And
was it.
escaped.
So now this is very important. You may say having an elaborate wedding, you want it to be memorable. You may say you want to show off your capacity. You may say you want to impress friends and families, or you even want your wedding to hit the headlines and the blogs. But this is important. How much you spend on your wedding has nothing to do with the destiny of your marriage. As a matter of fact, I encourage people to spend more investing in the marriage, getting to know one another, and building the basics of that home than investing in that one day thing. Do you know what I've discovered? No matter how much you spend in feeding people at a
Some
marriage
people-
venue,
no, some
people
people
will
complain.
still
They
say
didn't
the
get
food
food.
was not enough.
No, it wasn't enough. Never enough.
So this is my take.
No, if the food is enough, it wasn't sweet.
So this is my take. Do your best and leave the rest so you can rest. Or decide to do your best and do the rest and rest in peace. You decide. Because the truth of the matter is, if you want to go beyond your bars and start doing things that are unthinkable, then you get to the level where you spend and you are spent. So you, even if you have somebody's money on you, you spend it. And at that point, you can't even be entrusted with people's resources because you lack control, you lack decorum, you are unable to manage your resources. And this is wisdom. If you spend everything you have on the wedding, how will you take care of that woman in the marriage? Because that's why, I don't know, maybe our friends could go look up my channel on YouTube. I spoke about the influence of finance in romance. That girl calling you honey right now, when money is not there for a period of time, honey will become monkey. The influence of finance in romance is so large that it can actually distort, destabilize, discombobulate the relationship. What actually sponsors the flow
of the relationship,
quote me, the flow in quote, of that relationship is the finance underground.
The resources.
It creates a balance. But when the resource is not there, even having sexual intercourse will not be palatable. There will be curfew in between. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So this is so important. You see, if you can spend beyond your capacity on a day's event, then you can't be entrusted with other people's funds.
You cannot.
So that's why we really need to be very, very careful. Now, take note of these action points, because you see, the lust for lavish spending will definitely make you to spend and be spent. And you may get to a point where you will be in debt. And you know, so much debt leads to untimely death. Did you get that?
You keep getting people who want to commit suicide because they're owing so much.
Did you hear the story of a man just last week who killed his wife and killed himself? The debt was too much, so he felt the only way out is let them pray. He killed her and he shot himself, and that was it. Very sad story, but it can actually be avoided if you understand these things. What are the action points? Number one, if it makes you borrow afterwards, it's not worth it. I don't care who you are. I really do not care what your name is. But if doing an elaborate wedding
will make you
borrow after the marriage, after the wedding, please don't do it. Because you're at the point of crashing your family. You're at the point of messing up the name of your family. Number two, if you have no assets to fall back on, don't spend it all. Don't forget, I said spending too much of all you have. Spending all you have is too much for a wedding. So if you don't have assets to fall back on, desist from it, because it's not a wise counsel. And it's important to recognize this. A woman that truly loves you will not encourage you to spend it all, because she knows she's going to suffer.
In fact, a woman that truly loves you and wants to stay married to you
will be thinking for you.
Should actually be thinking, so how much have we saved? So how much do we have?
Good.
So what are we going to fall back on? So how much?
Somebody actually said something to me. Somebody said, it's good to marry Yoruba women, because at the wedding ceremony, they would dance more so that people can spray more and you will get more money. He said, but if you marry those tribes, those other people who frown, I didn't call names, okay, because I'm not tribalistic. If you marry someone who
Thank
frowns,
God you are not Yoruba. So first of all, let's clarify that.
If you marry someone who frowns, if you marry someone who frowns, now get it. If you marry someone who frowns, you're gonna have a problem. Now, if you go on Instablog and check, there was a video trending. A young lady was about to take a picture with her husband on the wedding day, and she was screaming on him, "Don't kiss me too close. Don't mess up my makeup." Now she was just after the makeup. Now imagine. Someone is there saying, "Baby, I'm going to dance so that they spray us so we can have something because we've spent so much." Another one is saying, "Don't spoil my makeup." And then you get into that marriage and begin to manage.
You know the one that shocks me?
Do
you know that people actually put together, you know, when we talk about even this wedding, the funny part is not the food that they used to feed people that annoys me the most.
What is that?
It's the outfit. It's the makeup and the hair.
But we are coming to that. I have points on that, Tomisi. I was giving you action points, okay?
So the guy cuts his hair for 1,000 naira or 2,500 at the most.
Okay. And then the lady buys woman hair.
And it's not just that she buys woman hair. She buys 500,000 naira hair.
True.
And when she's done buying 500, and then they spend 100,000 to fix the hair, and then they do makeup for her for 100,000.
And you take pictures and put it on the ground. Do you remember when we talked about people carrying plots of land on their head?
And you know, minus that, You now discover that you can't buy recharge card, but the air that you wear can buy a house.
True.
Can buy land.
True.
Really?
True. Some more action points, Tommy. I've spoken about number 1, number 2, number 3. If it is to prove who you are not, then be careful. The marriage will hurt you afterwards, because you see, you want to do the wedding to prove who you are not. I'm telling you, family members will make lots of demands. Uncle Lagbaja's wedding was so big, he has money. Then they'll start sending you messages.
Uncle.
Then they'll start bombarding.
And then when you don't give them, they say it's the
then
new
you
wife.
are a bad person. They'll
It's
say
the
new
wife.
wife has corrupted him. Very important. Number 4, action point. If it's to please your partner, then remember that you can't start your marriage without having financial independence. Because you see, lack of results will bring insults. So baby, we want to cook soup, we need 10,000. I don't have. Then the next day, baby, we need to eat rice, we need 2,000. I don't have. There's a level to which you don't have becomes a national anthem, and the woman gets uncomfortable. And may God help you. May God help you. If she's tempted from outside and somebody starts spending on her, you lose value immediately. She looks down on you. She no longer communicates
even if
with
she
you.
doesn't, even if nobody spends on her, Dr. Precious, if she starts filling in the gap for you, you also lose value.
Very true. Very true.
You also lose value in her eyes. You lose value in her mind.
I wish we could have a day where we talk about the influence of finance in romance. It's on YouTube. It's actually on.
We've actually done that
Mega
before.
Precious TV.
We've actually done that before on the Bumper Breakfast. I think about 2 times. We had the 2 series on it with Boya, the
Sure.
one marriage counselor.
Okay.
And no, the topic was even no romance without finance.
Okay.
That was-
Because this
it
one,
was
the
explosive.
influence of finance in romance, I actually coined it when I was a youth executive in my commission there. Now, final point number 5. If you want to please your family and friends, hope you remember that they will leave you at the wedding venue. And everybody will go home to your tent, O ye
To your
Israelites.
tent, O Israel, and then they begin. You know the bad part? When you spend that much on your wedding day, and they see how much you spend, and you know the wife is, they're asking the wife, so how much is decoration person cost? That's the one. Those are the things that annoy me. How much did your decoration cost? 500,000. How much is the orb? 2 million.
True.
Really? And
Very
then,
true.
how much did you get the decoration for the car? 50,000.
Very true.
Car that brought you to church and takes you back and leaves you and goes back home. Really?
And let me say something, Tommy. You see, I need people to understand this. The wedding is our business. But you see, the marriage is your business. So don't be too conscious about
The wedding.
which is our business.
Yes, you look good.
Be conscious about the marriage, which is your business. And that's why I'm going to give you the basic things you need to look out for when you want to get married. Just concentrate on those basic things.
You have
Leave
2
the
minutes to do that because I
paparazzis.
want to bring in Mr. Joseph.
Okay, good. So leave the paparazzis out of it, but just look out for these basic things. Number 1, the wedding ring. The wedding ring is the symbol of that
Of that
relationship.
relation, yes.
So you need it. Number 2
You can
is
spend a lot on it.
number 2 is the wedding attire.
Not everything you have.
Not everything. Almost everything you have is too much. You see, the wedding attire. There are a group of people in East Africa
Yes.
who use native attire to wed. They go to church and they are joined. So there's no law that says you have to wear a gown
Even in
or you
Accra.
have to wear a coat. Even in Ghana,
They wear
they
wear
wear
the native kente. They wear
Good.
the kente
So
coat for
the
wedding.
attire is important. Just get something modest and use it. And finally, number 3, a light refreshment. I'm reminded of the Western weddings whereby people are invited for wedding and they have a restaurant, and then you finish taking pictures and then you go and eat whatever you like and pay. You pay for what you eat. So if you can't pay for it, don't eat it. If you're hungry, eat and pay. So we can actually import that and don't get to the level where of trying to kill ourselves or over impress. Because see, let me say this as I conclude. If you do things to kill, you may end up killing yourself.
You just needed to just do that. That's our hard conversations on the bumper breakfast this morning. A young man is behind the scene right now, and I'm sure that he's watching us, but we need to bring him on set. So, Mr. Show, if you would leave your table and quickly come here, and let's you see your face for just 1 minute. Let's see your face for 1 minute and do a happy birthday. Today's his birthday, and he's one of the guys that are usually behind the scene on the bumper breakfast show. His name is Oluwaseun Joseph. Very helpful, very resourceful young man who this morning got a cake and a gift from the bumper breakfast show. So we definitely will want to say happy birthday to Seun. Where is he not here? We need to get him to come here just for 1 minute, Mr. Seun. We need to get you here. I know that your work is very important, but
those are the people that actually bring about the quality you see from
what you
your
see.
Screens.
What you see actually. What you see actually is all possible because this person, makes it happen for us. Makes it happen. Yeah. Oh, happy birthday, Oluwaseun.
It's a beautiful one. Beautiful. Where is he?
Yeah, he's almost here. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow.
Happy birthday to you. We love you.
Happy birthday. So this is Oluwaseun Joseph, and today is his birthday, and he's one of the technical guys on the bumper breakfast. So we'll say happy birthday to you. Thank you so much for doing what you do, and thank you for always making people at home see us. I'm sure that without them seeing us, without you being there,
they can see us.
They can see us. So, David, you need to come and do your birthday again. So for you. But happy birthday.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm so overwhelmed by this.
I'm
so humbled. There's nothing I can say to you about that. I really appreciate it.
But what are you mostly
I was so dumbfounded when you told me that you are celebrating something. I was going to do something. That is so amazing.
But let's talk about what are you mostly grateful for today?
Wow. I thank God for life. I thank God for the bright future that God is setting ahead. God has set ahead for me. That very soon I will surely get there.
Amen.
Amen and amen. All right, thank you so much. This is Mr. Seun Joseph, and I'm sure your wife is watching. Is she watching? Oh, and that little baby that we have not seen before. Oh my, I only see him on Facebook. We need to see that baby so that we can say, happy birthday, happy birthday. All right, thank you so much. Yes, sir, that's where we round off the bumper breakfast show this morning. That's where we round up the bumper breakfast show. It's been a wonderful time, and of course we needed to celebrate Seun. Seun is wonderful. He is wonderful, and we need to do this for him. But we'll see you again next week Monday on the bumper breakfast, bright and early. Dr. Precious, how do you close?
I close by saying please follow us on Instagram, Dr. Precious Was, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Mega Precious TV.
My name is Tomisi Ojo. Check me out. My website is that tomisiojo.com.ng. I'll see you again Monday morning.
Bye-bye.